Welcome to the E.A.T podcast, episode number 41. I'm your co-host, Jerry. The other co-host over there is Russ. Russ, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see that the set and everything is back in order after you guys had your Met Fun House last week while I was gone.
Yeah, it's back in order, and the Mets are killing it.
Oh, they certainly are killing it. Bunch of bench clearing brawls and stuff. Mets
had another one today.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right, so tonight we got a guest that we've been going back and forth with on Twitter for a while, and finally we got the scheduling down, and we're all good. We're going to have Rich O'Toole on tonight. So let me just get into a quick intro for Rich before we bring him on.
Standing 5'11", weighing in at 187 pounds, by way of Texas.
So as Spotify says, he's a red dirt country singer with a flair for gleaming arena rock. Rich O'Toole built a regional following in his native Texas during the late 2000s and early 2010s. A native of Houston, began playing music in high school and started taking it seriously while attending Texas A&M. After playing a series of parties and clubs, independently released 17 in 2007, and the debut earned enough attention that he hopped over to Smith Music Group for 2008's In a Minute or Two, which was produced by Mac Damon and released on 10 million Walkmans in Japan. 3 years later, O'Toole signed with Average Joe's Entertainment and took a shot at the big time with Kiss of a Liar, which featured cameos from fellow Texas stars Josh Abbott and Pat Green. The record peaked at 73 on Billboard's country chart. In 2013, he launched his own label, PTO, which debuted his 4th album, Brightwork. Rich O'Toole then headed out to Los Angeles after its release. That's where he wrote the bulk of Jaded, which came out in 2014 at number 10 on the country music iTunes chart. A 2-year gap during which O'Toole released Jaded and American Kid, which that appeared in March of 2017, debuted at number 5 on the country music iTunes chart and number 43 on the national Billboard chart. At 34, Rich was on his way, 19 top 10s and 4 number 1s in the Texas music chart with over 100,000 albums sold. In 2020, he released his next album titled New York, and his newest singles, 17 Wild Horses and Low Hanging Fruit, can be found with all his other music on Spotify. Welcome to the E.A.T podcast, Rich O'Toole.
Yes.
Hey, buddy,
What's
how
up?
are you?
How you boys doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
I gotta say, I don't know how we started following you. Maybe somebody that we follow retweeted something you put out, but something caught our eye, and I'm telling you, it's been gold on Twitter ever since.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I have a lot of fun. I think Twitter's a Wild West. I'm glad Elon bought it because I have more crazy shit to say. It's a good time. So
I'm sure it's a lot crazier than putting fucking beans in chili.
No,
Yeah,
it
man.
is. Hey, beans go in chili. They're supposed to. That's how you get your fiber. This is bullshit.
Listen, we're gonna start off with that. I do beans in chili, and then an old man at work yelled at me one day. He goes, "You don't put beans in chili." I didn't fucking know. I did not have beans in chili. I thought that was like the quintessential ingredient aside from the meat. But who the fuck eats beans chili without beans?
Well, in Texas, it's a big jerk off fest because, like, it's like these guys, these cowboys. They're like, I'm from Texas, born and raised. My dad's from the north, so I started making chili with beans. And in Texas, like, you go to cook-off, there's signs that say, like, don't fucking add beans in chili. Like, people will fight you. Like, I swear to God, you will see violence over this shit. That's why it's so aggressive on Twitter.
Wow,
people they will go to the mat with you over if you add beans and chili or not.
These are what I put in. Charro beans, seasoned with bacon, chicharrones, and chorizo.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That sounds beautiful. Yeah, that's chili.
Shit.
You know what beans without chili is? That's called a hot dog topping. It's what you put on fucking spaghetti. That's what chili without beans is. That's what I try to tell people. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
You're right.
Oh my
that's what you
God.
throw on top of a fucking hot dog with cheese.
Right. It's a hot dog top. I'm not going to fill a whole bowl up of hot dog topping. That's disgusting. Like I need it to be a little soupy. Put some beans in there. I'm trying to get full. I'm trying to eat with a cracker. It's cold outside. You know, that's chili.
Well,
I don't go to Wiener Cell. What's a hot dog joint you got there? I don't go to like James Coney Island and be like, hey, fill that whole fill my bowl up with the fucking hot dog topping you got behind there. If you get heartburn, you would die. Like it would be terrible.
I mean, I haven't had it in a while. You go to Wendy's, you get chili, it comes with beans in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they got to fill the pot. I mean, that's somewhat healthy, you know. There should be celery in there too. There should be.
I mean, listen, I make mean chili here, and after I eat it, my wife fucking stays away from my back end for a couple days.
Yeah. Look how angry I am about this. It's like, you know, it's
yeah, but that's the funny thing. I've seen the responses on your Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, people are really like,
yeah.
If it was as bad as pineapple on pizza, I fucking love it. Then again, I'm fat. I eat everything, so what's
No, as you should. Everyone's gonna die soon. Eat it. You know, enjoy every sandwich. Who gives a shit? I've had a couple death threats. I swear to God, I've had like DMs that are like, "I will kill you."
It amazes me though the amount of stuff that you post and eat. That how the fuck you don't look like me? I mean, shit. I think I gained 5 pounds just from looking at the food you post.
Man, I don't know what. I think it's because I walk a lot. I don't try to use my car, and then anxiety. I suffer from so much fucking anxiety. I only sleep like 3 or 4 hours a day, and I think my body just burns a lot of calories just playing music, writing, producing. I'm always doing a lot of shit.
Tacos and hot sauce.
Yeah. Oh man, my face is all red. You missed it, but we had like 20 minutes of trying to make this thing work. So I'm on my cell phone right now to talk to these guys. We were panicking. So I'm like, just flush.
We had some technical difficulties, but we're up and running, so we're good to go here. But I gotta say, the food stuff you post is great. How big of a foodie are you? I mean, it seems like every meal you're out at, like, you know, a taco stand or a restaurant, or is that something you do on purpose, or you know, just by force of habit, or are you a foodie?
Yeah, I think it's something that, like, my mom asked me this too. She's like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you like what are you doing?" You know, and my response is, you know, anything I do 3 times a day, I'm gonna take it very seriously.
Okay.
Food, sex, music, wine, whatever. Like I dive into something, I dive into it. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm just on my mind is, all right, I got to try this new breakfast taco. Around around noon or 1 o'clock, I'm like, all right, there's this restaurant 2 miles away I haven't tried yet. I'm gonna go and try their marinara. I'm gonna go try their tacos. I'm gonna go try their calamari. I'm gonna try this. You know, food is always on my mind. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, it's on my mind. When I go to bed, it's on my mind. I consider it. I'm very serious about anything that I do as an artist. Like songwriting, I take it very seriously. Food, I take it very seriously. I don't know. Some people don't. Some people see food as just a substance. Like, yeah, I'm hungry, so I'll just go to Jimmy John's, eat a sub, and then, you know, play video games again. To me, it's like every time I'm hungry, it's an opportunity to try something really amazing. You know,
I'm like my spirit animal.
Yeah. Seriously.
I
don't waste any opportunity. If I'm hungry, I get hit by a bus tomorrow. So what the fuck am I gonna go eat like Jimmy John's when I get hit by a bus tomorrow? That's how I think. You know, it's like, all right, it's 7 o'clock. I'm really hungry. Could die tomorrow in a fiery car accident, so I might as well eat something amazing. And
we don't have Jimmy John's here in New York.
Because you're in New York, you have amazing subs. Down here in Texas, we don't have like real Italians.
There's like one in the city, but I don't. But we got my butcher opened up a sandwich shop down here, so I don't even bother with that stuff. We got a Jersey Mike's. I haven't even tried it.
Yeah, haven't tried it.
You pay $10 for a hero. Meanwhile, you go pay 12 or 13 at my buddy's butcher shop, and it's this monster freaking concoction with chicken cutlets, mac and cheese, and bacon on a garlic bread hero.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't have that. You know, in Texas we have Tex-Mex. We have amazing barbecue. We have like 4 staples of foods, but we don't have like the local Italian dude.
Texas barbecue. Texas barbecue is tomato based, right? Where like Carolina's like fucking vinegar based.
Well, yes and no. So Carolinas are going to be vinegar based because they're doing a lot of pork. Texas, nothing. We use just salt, pepper, and smoke. It's your choice if you want to put barbecue sauce on that. Sometimes we say it's so good you don't even need a barbecue sauce. You're just biting into like a rib or a piece of brisket that's so fatty and salty that you're just straight up eating it, and it's just you don't even need sauce. It's that.
You ever try Kansas City barbecue? I've always heard. You know, it's funny. Everyone talks about Texas and Carolina, but Kansas City always gets kind of left to the wayside out there.
Yeah, they have the Jack Daniel's like championship there every year. It's really good. I think that it's just not. No one's. it's like a lost art. Like I think at one time Kansas City was really good, but it's like the grandfathers aren't passing it down in Kansas City. Kansas City's gotten a little rough. So there's only a couple barbecue restaurants, where in Texas there's 150 that are doing it craft. And so like it's just everywhere, and it's done so well, and it's competition. If it's not good, they'll let you know and you're out of business. Like Texas has become the Wild West of just really good Southern food,
So, Rich, you were born in Texas, raised in Texas. You had a couple of pit stops. We'll get into all them with New York and LA and everything else. But now you landed back there. Is that where you're based out of going forward, or is that just another pit stop until something else?
No, I bought a house in Houston. During COVID, my story was like when I was 29, I just got tired of living in Texas, living my whole life. The band was doing really well. People thought I was crazy, but I moved out to LA to write a bunch of music with people that were really doing some stuff for movies and film. Wrote some great records out there. Moved to New York City, wrote some great records there. Moved to Nashville, and then during COVID, I was stuck in Nashville, and there was just too many like Trump supporters and like crazy right-wing Southerners in Nashville that I was like, all right, I need to make a decision. And I was like, all right, I'll sell my house. I'll buy a house in Houston, be close to my mom and family, and just tour my ass off. Because the band's really, we're pretty big in Texas. And the surrounding states, we do pretty well. Other than that, like nationally, it's like, it's all right. Like we'd sell a couple hundred tickets if we went to Wyoming, or if we played New York City, we would do okay. But it's just Texas is our main market, and it should be. It's so giant that like the reason that we chart on Billboard like nationally is there's over 95 radio stations in Texas, and they all play our songs.
Wow.
On the hour. So you can imagine that's 28 million people that hear Rich O'Toole on the radio every single day. There's no reason for me to even leave the state. I can make a great living just playing honky tonks and festivals and whatnot.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that was kind of the thing. It was like, I'm getting older. I want to start a family, and I've kind of lived out a crazy wild rock star life a little bit, and I just kind of want to settle down. I thought, being in Houston, where I'm from, I love it. So, bought a house here.
That's good. Getting older, I guess. I looked you up. You're 38, so you're.
You're close to our age.
I'm 38 as well, but I got you beat by a month. I'm a July '83 baby, so.
Oh, dude, you're old man. You're way older than me.
I practically could be your father, so I got you beat by a month. You pipe down.
So, Rich, you started playing music in high school, and then got serious about it at Texas A&M. First of all, how was Texas A&M? Is it all that you see, and then some with the football team and all that on TV, or
No, you're right about that. And there's a lot of conceptions about A&M. A&M used to be like a real big hick school. It was like when I went to school there.
It was an agricultural college.
It was an agricultural school. Like when I went to school there, it was like gravel roads and like cowboys and like drinking beer and shit like that. UT had us whooped. UT was where all the liberals and people with money went. A&M is where. But A&M started really getting momentum because a lot of our alumni became really famous. A lot of alumni started making some serious money, and they put a lot of money back into the school. And now we're one of the top universities in the nation, and one of the best recruits.
Professional athletes coming out of there, especially football players.
And we started paving the streets, and we started and now you go there. I don't even recognize it. Now I go there, it's all high rises, and it looks like a southern Manhattan, man. It's like amazing. When I was in school there. It was, we lived in houses off dirt roads and stuff, and kids were partying in the back of pickup trucks. So A&M's always had that agricultural mantra. It's just that school really in the past 20 years since I went to school. I started freshman year there in 2001. So 20 years ago, and I started freshman year there when I was 17 because I went early. It was kind of a cow town a little bit, but it's gotten in the last 20 years. I mean, it's become an amazing university, and that's why we got Jimbo Fisher.
Uh-oh.
No, we lost him for
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Rich, you hear us?
Some internet issues. Oh, no. It happens. We lost you. Yep, he'll be back. There we go.
He'll be back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, guys.
So we heard about Jimbo Fisher, and then the screen froze. And
Yeah, I'm a Florida State fan, so the Jimbo Fisher thing pissed me off. So
Yeah, I can imagine that.
yeah, we were all about the hype when you had the Johnny Manziel era going there.
Yeah, man. Can you hear me now? Y'all sound
yeah.
kind of like a robot.
Yeah.
yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I love Manziel, man. Me and him follow each other on Twitter. He was a couple years after me, but
Yeah, I would have said.
I love Johnny. He was great.
He's playing in some arena league right
Yeah,
now.
where is he?
The
He's not in the
United-
USFL, right, Russ?
No, it's like the United Indoor Fan League or something like with Terrell Owens.
It still freezes up for me, guys. I'm so sorry.
No, we hear you fine.
Still good. We hear you fine now.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me? Okay. I can't hear y'all though. It's like going in and out like a robot.
Oh man,
We switched.
we switched.
We switched. It's all right. Hold on. Hang tight. Maybe it's the service. All right, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we hear you
now.
fine. You hear us?
You hear us?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So Manziel was like a thing where like he was like Jordan. I never seen a guy play football like that.
Really?
And even when, yeah, because I just didn't. It was interesting, he wasn't even supposed to be a starting quarterback. He went to UT as like a strong safety, and then like A&M got him, and then he wasn't our starter, and then he was, and he just ran the foot. He was just Johnny Football. Like he was just so cocky, but so talented. When you saw him play live, it was really something interesting.
Wow.
It was so different of a quarterback that it was something that like I never seen it before, and I think that it put A&M on the map because it started getting national attention.
And the following
you had Drake coming to
just
shows,
crazy.
shit like that. Yeah.
So after college or in college, how did you get found? How did you break out into the music world?
We got lucky, our first single, because it was kind of like I couldn't pay rent. My parents were like, get a real job. I was like, I don't want to. And we had a single come out called Queen of the Misfits. And it was, it just kept, every radio station added it. It ended up going number 3 in the state, number 39 in the country.
Wow.
So we had a top 40 single in the country. And by then I could go and play every dance hall in Texas and, make $2 or $3 grand a night. And you're doing 200 shows. All of a sudden, like your band's making $500,000 a year. All of a sudden it's a real ass job, You're making more money than you would be making selling real estate with like your friends, for 60, 70K a year. And people took it seriously. And then, you're on billboards and you're playing all around and people are hearing the radio. It kind of blew up every night. And we've just been kind of riding that push, ever since, but it's been a lot of fun.
Now, growing up, who did you look to in the music world? I mean, obviously I'm gonna say at least probably, Hank Williams Jr. and George Straits and
it was.
Who was
Go
the guy
ahead.
who was the guy that you wanted to be, and who was the guy that you looked up to that gave you some advice or conducted themselves a certain way and you're like, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go.
There was a guy down in Texas, y'all don't know him. His name's Robert Earl Keane. Do you know Robert Earl Keane?
No.
He's a god down here. He would be like y'all Springsteen.
Okay.
He's like a god in Texas. I mean, he's straight up a god. And I idolized him growing up. And now we're friends and like I open up for him and stuff and he's great. But I wanted to be him. And then saying having connection issues. You still got me?
I still got you. Yep.
Okay. Sorry. And then so from there on, like I got to a certain status, and of course I always wanted to be George Strait. But my music sounds different. It's the Rich O'Toole sound is not like normal country music. It's not like rock and roll. It's not country. So I was having a hard time like finding like where I fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there it was great because like I found my own sound. And I started really getting into Bruce Springsteen. So I started getting into John Mellencamp. And I found like their sound, like the old school rock sound mixed with country. And kind of that's what defined, Rich O'Toole and all that.
So Rich, I was playing your music in the house last night. I got my mother-in-law here, my sister-in-law here. And right away, they said you have a sound like Randy Houser. Does that sound familiar, or do you get that at all?
Yeah. I like Randy Houser. He's a really good writer.
They pegged you as him right away. They thought that's who it was, and I was like, no, this is Rich. He's coming on the show tomorrow, and we were playing it on Spotify all night.
Listen, you haven't lived until you bench press listening to Rich O'Toole. I had to catch up. When we first scheduled the interview, I listened to a couple songs. Then today I was like, all right, shit. But American Steel is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I like American Steel a lot. That's a really good song.
I did take offense, though.
I wrote an album called New York.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a sec.
We'll get into that in a sec, but I did take offense to you saying that you passing Hondas on the highway there, because I drive a Honda Civic. So.
Do you drive a Honda?
I do.
That's a great car, man. You'll get a lot of miles out of that, I think.
I got 200,000 on the damn thing.
Still
but you already got a girl, man. What do you care? You already got a girl. You already got a wife. If I were you, I'd ride a bike at this point. You know.
Minivans.
Yeah.
Speaking of New York, the album itself, I'm going to say that you had some girl issues in there, considering you got the Dear Samantha and Kate there. I guess you had some romantic things going on there.
Yeah, I've had a kind of rough past the past like 4 or 5 years, man. Kate on there, she was a friend of mine that had MS, and I lived in her apartment when she was gone for a while in New York City, and she came back. In the month she came back, she killed herself in the apartment that I lived in. So that was like really tragic for me.
Jesus.
Samantha was a girl I dated for 6 years, and I broke up with her twice. I should have married her. I was just on the road touring, and I was just being very selfish. And that was hard on me. Yeah, because I tried to get her back, and I was like, I want to marry you. And she was like, no, it's gone. This is past. So there was a lot of demons that I had that I just, suffering from a little bit of depression, anxiety, I had to really write about and get out. And I think that's like, for me, is like when you listen to, Randy Houser or guys like that are doing country music, they're not really singing about stuff like that where I am. So, a lot of my music is like autobiography. Like it's straight up my life. So that being said, like, yeah, that album's pretty deep. It's all true. It's all real. Everything on that album is like about me. There's not I'm not making up songs about the next door neighbor. Even like the title track, Back of My Bullshit, it was like, man, that's when I was like back in New York City, drinking a lot, not really getting in trouble. I never got into drugs. I never really got too deep into women, but like, shit was real. I was partying. We were having a fun time.
Where were you living in the city? Midtown, downtown, Village?
Yeah, right at Astor Place, 8th and Broadway in the West Village.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was too expensive. It was too expensive for me. I was running out of money. Because
it hasn't gotten any cheaper, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, that city's insane. I mean, you go out for a sandwich and a glass of wine, and you're at like $2 off the top. You're like,
yeah. We both live in the city. I go to lunch every day, and freaking you just want to get a deli sandwich and a soda and a bag of chips, and it's $20.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Oh, they got to pay rent. I mean,
we went on St. Patty's after work, and I wasn't really in the mood to drink, and so they had an Amstel Light, which I'm not normally a light drinker, but I was like, I haven't had fucking Amstel Light in years. I was like, yeah, sure. So I had 2 of them. $18 for 2 Amstel Lights. Just get the fuck out of here. I was like, for that, I'd rather just have a fucking tequila or a fucking Johnny Black.
Should have been drinking Guinness on St. Patty's Day, buddy.
I didn't want it. I had to get. I coincidentally had a Guinness like the day before. So
I'm drinking tonight. So. I gotta say, I'm off tomorrow. I'm drinking tonight.
Hell yeah, go for it, man.
My day's to drink tomorrow, and then I think Saturday we're going to a margarita rumble in downtown Brooklyn.
Oh boy,
it's New York City. New York City's. It's a voting thing for New York City's best margarita. So,
you're gonna get tanked.
Right.
Yeah, that's got hangover written all over.
Yeah, you're gonna be hammed.
I hear my wife laughing already. So,
I think you're gonna get hangover and diabetes at the same time. Like that's just gonna happen.
Well, I always get the same warning when I know I'm going to go out drinking with the wife and she's going to drive. The same warning every time. Please don't shit your pants.
and it's happened.
Yeah, that's all right.
There she goes. All right, calm down. All right, calm down.
Every show, you hear her in the background, whether it's somewhere in the show, you hear her lose it, and she's laughing like, we're two comedians, and we're not, but she loses it on something.
You got a good wife, man. That person really loves you,
Oh, listen, trust me, she loves me. But the things that I do and come out of me, she loves me. She's still with me.
So, Rich, do you miss the New York pizza? Do you miss New York City Chinese food? What do you miss about New York?
Everything, man. It was up to me, I would live there. I just think it was during COVID, and I made the right decision to come out to Texas. I just absolutely love everything about the city. You said what? John's Pizza? Buddy Chris is over there. Yeah, John's Pizza on Bleecker Street. I love that place. I miss everything about the city, man. The city has I go there to write. I do my best writing in New York because you just walk one block and you're going to see like 19. You're going to see a transvestite. You're going to see, a homeless dude urinating on somebody. You're going to see. You don't see that. I don't walk to lunch in Houston and see that every day.
You see a bit of everything.
You're going to see a bit of everything, and you're going to taste a bit of everything, and it's going to be great. And the best of the best come to this city, and it's hard to explain that to people that like hate on New York City because I'm like, how can you hate on something when the best of the best?
That's the problem. It's a mix of everything on a grand scale. It's like the most beautiful, just peaceful, awesome, just architecture all in one. And then at the same time, it's just a bum on every corner. A early Friday morning, and a guy's coming home from Thursday night puking on the sidewalk. Or just it's a mix of everything, like other major cities, but on just such a grander scale.
No, you're right. It's like the greatest piece of architecture invented, and there's a guy just pissing on it.
Yes.
It's just insane, and it makes you think. I mean, the city just makes you think. It makes you angry. It makes you sad. It makes you happy. You feel every emotion in that city because you just like, God, ride the subway from 8th to 43rd, and like it's just in that 15-minute subway ride, you're gonna walk off there going, "Fuck."
I think I said it on a previous show. I had an apprentice with me, and I'm an iron worker in New York City, so I had an apprentice with me, and he never took the subway before. So I was like, "All right, well, I'll show you how to get home because we both going to Penn Station." We get on the subway, and there's a bum smoking a joint on the subway, and just smoking out the car, and he was like, "Is this normal?" And I was like, "Well, not really." I said, "You see people with joints, but nobody actually smokes them in the subway car." So I said, "Listen, just ignore them and you'll be fine." And then the next stop, a fucking full, 5-person in uniform mariachi band gets on the fucking car and starts playing. And he was like, "Is this normal?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be honest with you, dude, you got on the wrong subway car today." But dude, it's like I said, it's everything rolled into one. It's awesome things, crazy things, disgusting things, all everything you can imagine all in one. So you can find peace, you can find yourself, go through Central Park. It's and at the same time, you're running from a bunch of kids that are trying to steal your wallet.
Yeah, it makes you tough. I mean, it makes you think. I wore when I lived in the city, depending on where I went, I wore different watches. I have a really nice watch that I would wear to dinner if I knew I was going somewhere in the city that was safe. I had a cheap watch that I wore if I knew I was going to Alphabet City.
So
it makes you think.
When you were in the city, did you ever snuff out the barbecue joints? Because there's a couple good craft ones, not the chain ones, but did you ever hit up?
Yeah, no, there's a couple in Brooklyn.
Did you ever hit up John Brown's Smokehouse in Queens?
Yeah.
That place is really, really good.
That place is really good. I guess the guys, there was a place too, a guy from Texas. This happened in LA too. Anyone can do really good barbecue. You just got to really know what you're doing. how to smoke the meat and like at what temperature, and anyone can really do it. That's what I'm saying. Like people ask me, is there good tacos in New York City? Like, yeah, of course there is. There's people from
if you know how to cook it. Like I didn't know
Right.
like the bark on smoking a brisket. You don't get the bark without pepper. I'm not a pepper guy, but if you don't have enough
Right.
pepper, you don't get the bark.
You're not getting the pH level that the pepper brings out in the meat to do it. It's a science. And it's like, are there good tacos in New York City? Of course there's. There's people from Mexico that live in New York City. They're from Mexico. How are their tacos not going to be decent?
We
It's just there's not enough of it. And there's no.
No.
What there is there's bad tacos there too, and the bad tacos probably outweigh the good tacos. So what's happening is people are going there, trying a shitty taco, and then going, New York City has bad tacos. Or New York City has bad barbecue.
That's like the person that comes to New York City, comes out of Penn Station, and goes to Sabaro's for pizza.
Right, exactly. You're like, dude, New York pizza's overrated. Or they go to one of the shitty Ray's locations, and you're like, yeah, it's not that great. It's like because you went to fucking Ray's number 38, and that's why it's.
They all say number one famous pizza in the world. They all say that.
I got a war with the lights over here, Russ. I'm sorry.
Or they go with the dollar slice pizza and go, hey, it's okay. No shit. It's a fucking dollar slice with the worst ingredients on earth.
They made their own cheese from like a fucking lamb they bought in the back. Like it's terrible. It's so yeah, I think it's all like in perspective. That's the thing about when food in America is like one of the best tacos I've ever had was in like Nebraska. And it was from a food truck from a family that drove here from Mexico. I mean,
makes sense.
You can't put something on something if it's not. It's location doesn't matter. It's the consistency and the people.
You know what? Always, it's funny you say that because I think we brought up on another episode too. Chinese food. I don't understand how Chinese food. People always say, "Oh, we get the best is in." That's the one thing I don't understand because you've got an Asian family that's in like Wisconsin. What are they doing differently that it doesn't? Like I understand.
I feel like.
What the hell was that?
What the heck was that?
Some dogs. There's two dogs in the house. And they got into a fight.
I feel like I understand the bagels because the water is different.
Yes.
The chemicals, everything in the water, soft and hard. The bagels don't cook the same. I understand. But like Chinese
I can understand that.
Chinese food, I figure, listen, you don't ever see anybody other than Chinese people cooking. How does it taste different in other states? I don't know.
Well, I will say this. Okay. In this theory, if I had to put a theory on it, this is like if there's an SAT question, this is how I would answer it. The Chinese like in New York City have been there since like Mott Street, like 18 like gangs in New York shit.
Yeah,
they've been there since like 1828, right? They're probably using the same wok from like 1828. Their grandma passed down. There's so much fucking salt and grease on that thing that like you're gonna get a different flavor out of that versus a dude that goes and buys a brand new wok, opens up a Chinese restaurant in Houston. He has the same recipe. He's got the same flavor, but dude, it's not that 100-year-old wok that's been passed down in that recipe and that fucking shit. So maybe that's what it is. It's like they just been there a little longer and they just because you get better at something every single day. And I think their family's been in the game for so long they just know how to make it better every day. So maybe that's it. I don't know.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What do we got here?
Some new music. Rich, you got new music coming out. I saw you put out a couple of tweets about I don't know. I want to say it's some insane number, like 40 songs you ready to put on an album or something crazy like that?
Yeah, I'm throwing a lot of them away, man. I'm just trying to really follow like what's going on. We have a new song coming out in May called Love on a Sunday. It reminds me of kind of like a John Mayer vibe. We're shooting a fun music video for that. We got a lot of it just, I'm trying to figure out the best way to record this record. I want it to sound consistent. I want it to sound like congealed into like a really great sound. So I'm rewriting a lot of the tunes. I'm rewriting even more songs. I just want it to be like the best because you're only as good as your last record. And then when I drop this new album, I want it to be, I want touring to double. I want to sell more tickets. I want to get out there more. And that's kind of, so yeah, we got a lot going on. I'm trying to do it the right way.
I got to tell you, your last two albums you put out, I've listened to in the last couple of weeks, and they both, like Russ was saying before, there's a story behind every song, whether it's like Casino Lights. I feel like you're leaving Vegas and it's in the rear view, or, like what Mississippi Baby, there's something about Mississippi. Like every song you put out, there's a story behind it. What is the theme of the new album going to be? Is there a love or places? What's the theme of this one you're putting together?
Yeah, well, the new song we have coming out called, Low Hanging Fruit, we just dropped. And that was just my kind of like, fuck you to Nashville. I'm just
Yeah, I was
making
gonna
fun
say
of it.
that.
I'm kind of making fun of the bro TikTok boys, like.
I'm not gonna
There's
lie.
so much lame shit come out of that city that I just had to like make a fun song, and that song won't even be on the album. Our first serious single we called "Love on a Sunday." It's a great love song about just you and your girl smoking some weed and making love during the week. It's great. It's a great song. It's a great love song.
Not gonna lie, Rich. When you have kids, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. That's why I'm so single, man. I'm trying to get it in.
Yeah, marijuana and jalapenos really don't exist when you're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to the low hanging fruit.
I've held out long enough,
I listened to the low hanging fruit before, and you think that it's just Nashville's become just so overpopulated and over commercialized? Is that what it is? Just become the country music, it's just become so everybody goes down there. I still want to go down there and visit. I was in there for what did I eat? I was in Nashville for like 2 minutes flying in, and I ate at some restaurant, and that was it. But I want to go back and visit. It looks great. Everyone says it's awesome, but I do hear a lot of the people in the media bash it that it's become so over commercialized that.
I blame the labels. What happened was that everyone from LA moved in, and they started just really flashing it up. And it used to be said just down there. Nashville was like, "Hey, let's go get a steak. Let's get a beer. Let's write some great songs about the country. Like, let's get out of here." It was simple, man, and people like that stuff. And I think what happened was, the LA vibe came in, and everyone's rhinestoning it up, and they're just singing about like, got my TikTok, I got my Fireball, I got my no.
And everybody seems to have their own restaurant down there.
Yeah, everyone's got their own restaurant. Now they're dressing up. It's limos, and you're like, yeah, if I wanted to live in LA, I already did that. I would have lived there. In the music, it got gross. I don't want to get on stage. My shit's like you're talking about. It's about Mississippi Baby. It's about traveling. It's about love. It's about real life shit. About looking back in the rearview mirror of Las Vegas. It's about real stories, deep storytelling. It's some Faulkner shit. That's what my writing's about. Now I got to write songs about like backwards hats and Fireball. Like that's the lamest shit I've ever. Yeah, that's the lamest shit I've ever. I wrote about this stuff when I was I wrote Marijuana Jalapenos. Right? I wrote about that shit when I was in my 20s. I'm 38 years old. I want to write about like serious shit. So that stuff's nothing to sell in that town.
You're not into the Sam Hunt stuff now.
No, I'm not into it. So I'm like, that stuff's just not in my mind, I just don't want to sing it on stage, and it's just depressing. So like, I obviously had to like start my own thing and like come back to Texas and do it independently, because even if a record label offered me, which I've signed 2 major record label deals, if they offered to sign me again, I'd be like, no, because I know you're going to want to change everything. I know you're going to come to me and say, we want you to record this. We want you to dress like this. I'm like, no.
I'd rather make it on your own terms than their terms.
I just want to be happy. I think that like anything you do, like if I signed y'all to like a Joe Rogan Spotify podcast right now, I was like, guys, I'm going to sign you the biggest podcast. Y'all be like,
do it.
Oh, I'm in. I'll be like, no. You got to paint your face like Insane Clown Posse, and you got to wear a fucking sombrero. Y'all be like, I'm not gonna lie. I
still might be down for that.
Yeah, I might be down for that. It depends on how much money you want to make, Russell. But like, it's one of those things where I'm like, eventually it would hurt your soul.
You're right, it would. But now I got to change my fucking next year's Halloween costume. What else we got? What else? I just lost
upcoming tour. Where are you going to be? I know you're playing. You're on location now, but where are you going to be throughout the summer? You have a tour coming out, or
yeah, we're now kind of like until the record drops. We're not really doing the tours. We're just doing like, I guess it's rude to say this, not really cash grabs, but like people pay me and I show up to play. Like, I'm playing a private party tomorrow in Joplin, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So like, some dudes pay me, good money to come to his house and play for an hour and bounce and make good friends. You pass out koozies and make friends, and like, you make new fans, and it's great. And then, on Saturday we're playing a amphitheater in East Texas, and hopefully 400 or 500 people will be out there, and they'll sing along to my stuff, and that pays the mortgage and my car note, and like, you go home. So it's not really a tour right now. It's kind of like you just go out to different markets and play and, make your income. But when the new album drops, then hopefully we do like a full ass tour. But right now it's just kind of doing one-offs. playing where you need to make money, and
What's your favorite?
just like any other job,
What's your favorite little place to play? Like what place did you go to and you just had a shitload of fun aside from the big cities? Just like some obscure town that you never played and just
Green Hall in Texas is like real famous. It's called Green Hall, spelled Gruene. It's an old dance hall from like the 1830s, and like Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams, they've all played there. It's an old wooden shack that holds about 700 people, and it just gets rowdy, and people are just drinking beer and sawdust on the floor, and it's just fun.
See, that sounds awesome. Like that.
You boys would have
something you want to. Yeah, that's something you
want
to go.
If you come down, let me know. I'll take you down there. We'll go eat some barbecue. We'll drink a bunch of beer, hit on some chicks. Like, it's fun, dude. It's great. It's a good time.
How far is that from San Antonio?
It's about 45 minutes north.
Oh, all right. That's not.
My brother's stationed in San Antonio, so maybe I'll have to
bring him out.
Trip down there.
If we play Green Hall, I think we're to headline Green Hall. I think like in October for the new album release or something. Let me know, man. I'd love for y'all to come down. It'd be fun
that'd be awesome.
See a show. Yeah.
The what do you call it? So aside from who you listened to growing up, who do you like nowadays? Like I love Luke Combs. I love.
I like Luke Combs. I think Luke Combs is what's right with country music right now.
Okay.
Like I'm not hating on like country music. I'm just saying there's people that are doing it right. There's people that are just like.
We just saw him at Madison Square Garden. He was awesome.
Dude, that guy's great. Like that guy's like one of the. I think he's doing it 100% the correct way. I love his songs. That song that he has, "When It Rains, It Pours" or whatever.
Yeah, "When It Rains, It Pours."
Yeah,
Honky Tonk Highway is a great one.
Dude, he's great. That's what's right. That's what Nashville should be doing. They should be releasing songs like that.
I like a lot of John Party.
Yeah, I love John Party. He's a Texas boy, man. He can rope and he can ride, and
love him.
He's what's right with country music. Dierks Bentley's what's right with country music. There's a lot of great guys.
I love Dierks.
That are killing it.
You might hate this choice. I do love Zach Brown, but I love Zach Brown 5 years ago.
I want to say 10 years ago.
Like 5 years ago. Like now, I feel like he got too cute, and he's into that. What you're saying, that LA Nashville vibe. He tried to get too cute.
It went weird. Like I was a giant Zach Brown fan, and all of a sudden he dropped it was like 2 years ago, right? He dropped some like weird shit, and you were like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
it pissed off a lot of people. I think he's a good guy. I love Blackberry Smoke. Bands like that, like Whiskey. Me and the Whiskey Meyer guys had toured together for years.
I wasn't huge on. I never heard of Rodney Atkins before.
Yeah,
and then I work security at a bar on the weekends, and it's a very large place. And they started to they ended up getting Rodney Atkins to come in. And I became a huge fan of his just from watching him live. And I really liked him. And surprisingly, they got Jimmy Allen to play.
Oh,
and
wow.
They signed him before, obviously, he became Country Artist of the Year. Because they also got Luke Combs. And people were like, our bar holds like 1,500 people. It's huge. But still, we're just a regular bar and concert venue. And they were like, how the fuck did you get Luke Combs? And he ended up doing an acoustic show. But they signed him before they became huge. But Jimmy Allen played, and what do you call it? Super nice guy. And I got to tell you, wasn't huge on his music. It's a little more that, Kane Brown type of stuff that I'm not huge with. But he put on a hell of a show. He surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a really talented guy.
Chris Stapleton, love him.
Yeah, we got a couple of comments in the chat. Chris Stapleton and Gary Allen were mentioned in the chat.
Yeah, I love Gary Allen. Gary Allen's like kind of one of my idols. I really love Gary Allen a lot.
What's that? My wife loves Chris Young. He's pretty good.
Chris Young's really good. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about Cole Swindell.
Guys who do it the right way. It's the minute you get commercialized and you listen to the other voices and something changes and that sound changes, like you mentioned with the Zach Brown, it turned me off. I mean, honestly, we used to go to Zach Brown every year when he did a show in New York, and it turned me off recently.
Yeah.
You know who I really started to like? He's very different voice. Tyler Childers.
Tyler Childers. Yeah. I like him a lot.
He's got a hell of a voice.
That song, White House Road, is like
White House Road. And
that song's badass.
The acoustic version of it I like better. He does that live acoustic along with Nose to the Grindstone.
Yeah, him like Sturgill Simpson. There's a whole movement. I went to college with Ryan Bingham. He's really, really good. He was on Yellowstone too. All all those guys they're great songwriters. They're good storytellers, and that's what it should be about. I mean, that's what I see it as. Like,
Yeah, it should.
I'm
be.
an artist. I'm a writer. That's I try to entertain too, but
It shouldn't be about putting out a political message. I mean, people want to go listen to your music and they want to get away from the everyday life of, this president, this former president. No one wants to hear about it. They want to listen to your music and they want to just like get away from it for the 20 minutes or so of all the drama and nonsense that everyone sees on TV and in the media. And when the music goes that way, it's a turnoff as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's okay to get political. I mean, not political, but like you can throw a jab here and there. But
Sure.
people, you're right. Jerry, like they want to sit there and get away from the problems. They want to rock. They want to boogie. They want to be entertained, man. That's what it's all about.
And I got to tell you, honestly, this is going to come out wrong, but I'm just going to phrase it the way I phrase it, and I want you to react. But I love how Russ is laughing already. You performed at the Texas governor's mansion.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ! Thanks so much for that shit.
Listen, and people gave you shit on Twitter for doing it for political reasons, whether they were far right, far left, or wherever in between. They gave you shit for doing it, and your response was amazing. And I tell you, this is where I was like, "Holy shit, this dude's awesome." You said, "Hey, listen, I got to put food on the table. I got a band behind me. I got a crew that works with me. I don't care what your thought is on where I'm doing. I'm worried about the people that I have under me. The way you put, and I wish I could go back and dig out the tweets, the way you worded it. The way you responded to the cancel culture or the haters or whatever you want to say they are, your response was epic. I loved it. I mean, that was bravo the way you did it. And it doesn't matter if I'm right wing, left wing, or anywhere in between. Your response was the response. Who cares who or where you are? Look at who you have working for you. It was epic. I loved it, Rich. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's been COVID. I mean, people got to work, and the governor pays a really big chunk of change to come out there and play. And look, I'm not really for his like trans policy, but I do know the governor. Like, actually, he follows me on Twitter, and he actually requested for us to come out there. And at the end of the day, it's the governor of the state you live in. Yep. I don't care if you like him or not. You go out there and do it. I mean, you just go out and play under the fireworks. You do it. It wasn't like I was on stage being like in trans people. It's one thing that there's a video of me like saying I hated trans people or something. I get that. I didn't do anything. I just go out there and just played my songs, and people were boogieing and having a good time.
Yeah.
It's like I also said I was like I'm a musician. I'm not a politician, guys. Leave me out of this. It has nothing to do with me. And it broke my heart. Like one of my biggest idols is Jason Isbell, and he unfollowed me because of it. And a bunch of Americana writers for like Rolling Stone unfollowed me, which broke my heart because it's like, all right, it won't be in Rolling Stone ever again. All because you played for the governor. It's like, dude, what? What?
Yeah, and if you
it's not like I voted for you. It's not like I voted for these trans kids not to get in school or some shit. Like what? I'm just the guy playing guitar. Did they cancel the guy serving nachos there? Did he get canceled too?
Love some good nachos.
Listen, if the former president of the United States or the current president of the United States asks you to come perform at the White House, regardless of how you politically look or lean, you're going to play for either one of those guys.
I always thought that was a big turn up. When people decline to go to the White House, you got to be pretty famous and wealthy, or it's just America. Like when I don't care who's in office,
exactly,
whatever or not, I'm going to show up and shake the president's hand.
Yep.
And you know what? What I told people too is I said, dude, sometimes when I talk to Greg, when I talk to the governor alone, I'll throw in something like, hey man, what's going on with this law? Like, why don't you lean this way? How do you know I'm not in his ear talking to him? How do you know I'm not for you, or you're close enough to somebody?
Yep.
How do you know I'm not lobbying for your right to do something?
You're right.
Just because I get invited to the mansion and I'm sitting here having dinner with him and his wife, doesn't mean I'm not like in his ear. The guy I'm at his house right now, Chris Putnam, that's where I'm doing this live. He ran for Congress, and he was a run again for this year. And he's nothing to do it. I mean, he wants to hang out and ski with his family, and he's a very famous congressman. Me and him don't see eye to eye on a lot of political stuff. We don't. But I'm in his house right now. We're going to sit here and have a glass of wine, have a nice dinner. We're going to debate about some shit. He feels a way about something I do. It doesn't mean I hate someone because they feel a certain way about a policy. That stuff is for the birds. I mean, anyone that got on there, I thought it was just so disgraceful for them to come after me and try to cancel me because I played for the
I'm gonna
played
have
for the governor. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I saw the exchange and I was like, "Is this really happening?" Like, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, of course this is happening." Because no matter how great your albums are and how great your music is, and everyone's a fan of it, the minute you go play for somebody they don't agree with, right away there's like, "Oh, forget you."
No, I'm not a
We're
fan
done.
of Rich O2 anymore. He's dead. To me.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
okay.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bravo the way you stood up to it. I love the response, and you know what? You're right. You have a crew and you have a whole bunch of people who depend on you. You have to go do it. You have to.
Yeah.
You know,
It wasn't like it wasn't us doing it for free either, and it paid really well, you know.
So let me ask you real quick: the Texas
Hold
sports
on.
scene.
I'm taking his advice. I'm having a glass of wine.
Are you?
There you go. Look at that.
Good fucking wine.
Good fucking wine. I like it.
Good stuff.
Is that like that upstate New York wine?
Yeah. What is that, Russ?
No, it's.
You make that in the toilet?
No, you know what it is? I bought it just because of the name. It's actually become really popular, and it's a red blend it's really fucking good. Hence the name.
I'll have to try it.
It's from California, but
There you go.
So, Rich, the Texas sports scene. Are you a sports guy? You know,
Yeah, I am.
What are you a big fan of?
I was a fan of the Texans, and the Deshaun Watson thing fucking broke my heart.
I'm a Colts fan.
So I guess I'm still a Texans fan. I'm just like, what am I watching? It was like watching Rome burn. It was like, fuck this. Giant Astros guy. You know, I had Astros season tickets in 2017. I went to every single game. Went to every World Series.
Wow.
And then the whole cheating thing kind of broke my heart a little bit too. So I'm still a Giant fan. I was just like, what the fuck is this? So I feel like every corner, I'm a giant Houston fan, but no, I'm a Rockets fan, and then Harden's being a prick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, everywhere I turned for Houston sports, I was just like heartbreak. Eventually, I was like, God damn, Houston.
Listen,
like, what are we doing here? You know,
you could be a Mets fan like me. That's the ultimate heartbreak.
Oh,
you could be a Jets fan. That's even worse.
Are the Mets still in the major leagues, or are they just like they're playing minor league?
Actually, we have like the best record in the major leagues.
I know y'all are actually doing really well.
Yeah, the Mets are doing real well right now.
We're making a big deal about it. I'm like, we're not even a quarter way through the season. We're gonna fuck this up. Relax.
I'm a big. When I lived in New York City, I would go and drink free beer at the Barstool headquarters because they had free
really?
beer. Yeah, so me and Big Cat became really good friends, and
Okay.
I know some of the Barstool guys real well, and they're that was a lot of fun. So I got into New York sports and like just sports on the East Coast in general because the Barstool guys they got me excited about sports again. And when I was a kid, we didn't get the Astros on TV. We only got the Cubs because of WGN. So I'm actually a big secret Cubs fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just because it's the only thing we got on TV. You know,
Barstool's a monster, though. I love Dave, and I can't stand Dave all at the same time. I think he's like the coolest, biggest tool you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, he's the cocky uncle at the party. You can't stand, but you just love to be next to him, hear him talk.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. But
you're like, God damn it, man! He was a nice guy. He was go all the way, but no, he's a monster in his own right, but in a good way. Like it's funny he's entertaining. I mean, I'm definitely Team Portnoy. I think he's just hilarious, and he works his ass off.
He built a major company. Yeah, he worked his ass off.
Yeah.
Being that you've been to the Barstool headquarters, do you ever meet Ryan Whitney or Bizanet? Because me and Jerry are both big.
Spittin' Chicklets. That podcast is definitely played in my car every week.
So I got a great Bizanet story. When we were in LA, my friend Jenny Johnson got a DM from we call him Biz Nasty.
Yeah.
So got a DM from Biz Nasty and was like, "Hey, I got tickets for you and Rich." And so he actually had us out to. He was the enforcer at the time. I can't remember what team he was playing for against the Kings. And we sat on the ice, and I actually got to watch him fight. And then after the gig, he took us out for beers, and he gave me and Jenny both hockey sticks. So like Biz Nasty is like a legit fucking guy, man.
Nice.
Like one of the nicest, like down to earth people I've ever met. So yeah, I love that guy. That's the only thing that's the only story I got. I only met him one time. He still follows me on Twitter from that night. You know, he followed me on Twitter, and so I'll send him a DM every now and then. But I mean, I nothing like we don't have a friendship or anything, but like that's a guy's a legit dude.
No, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Speaking of stories, I don't know if many people caught it because I did. When we originally scheduled you for the podcast back a couple months, You put out a tweet right before you confirmed it with Jerry, and it said, "I have a really funny airport story that I want to tell on the podcast." And then you scheduled with us like 2 minutes later, and then deleted the tweet. So I was going to ask, do you still remember what the story was?
Tell me. Yes, I'm trying to think of this.
This had, you know what, Aldo, this had to be, I can give you a rough date of when we first had this.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you exactly what it was.
You tweeted
because
that out.
United's trying to, they sent me an email. They want to buy the video. I filmed on my flight, this Vietnam veteran like kicked the shit out of this.
So roughly around just after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, Jerry's telling the story. He remembers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it was so you like this, and then I deleted I sent the video to my buddy who works for United, and I said, "Hey, what do you want to do about this? You know, I'm not trying to like blackmail y'all or anything, but like, I gotta send this video to somebody. I mean, I don't know what they did about it." And so then I was like, I deleted this tweet because I was like, I don't want to get into this. Like, I don't want to be that guy that posts a video of an old man kicking a flight attendant. You know, like it's just if flying has gotten so sad that it is just a giant Greyhound bus that they put a rocket on top of and just shoot it towards the city they want to go to. It is so fucking sad that like I used to love to fly and I fly to all my gigs. Now I'm driving, like I'm renting cars and just driving, and it's like I'll just split it up over 3 days before I'll get on a plane again because it's so fucking sad. That's kind of what that was.
Videos of these crazy incidences on planes, but I've never encountered one live.
I didn't either, and I was right on the scene and I filmed it. I was the only guy that filmed it, and the pilot came over and was like, "Delete that," and I'm like, "No,
why? No one."
I'm like, "Dude, I want to post this and like show people like you mistreated an 89-year-old war veteran. He had like a PTSD freak out and started kicking the flight attendant," and I was like, yeah." And United, like, they still haven't like. They're still supposed to be, because they reached out to me and they're like, "What can we do? We want to take care of you. We delete the video." And I was like, whatever. I don't even give a shit.
Wow.
I lost my bag for 4 days. Like,
that was a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. They probably searched the whole thing, which they did. I found like
they found marijuana and jalapenos.
Yeah.
How did that song come about?
I'll tell you how the song came about. I was 18 when I wrote it. I was first year at A&M, and it was the first time smoking weed, and I got super high. And as you know, when you're high, like sometimes you think that like you'll never not be high again. You know that feeling? You know, you're super high, and you're like, "I'm gonna be high forever." Like,
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I ate like a whole jalapeno on a dare at a Mexican restaurant, and my mouth was like burning on fire, and I'm stoned at this point. So I'm like, dude, my mouth is in my mind for like 10 minutes. I thought my mouth was never going to stop burning for the rest of my life.
Jesus Christ.
And I ran back to my apartment and I put my head on the pillow and was like getting in the shower, like shivering. And then I was like, and then it went away and I was like, oh, I was just really stoned and I ate a whole jalapeno. I'm an idiot.
And
so I wrote marijuana jalapenos after that.
It's pretty catchy. I
wrote it when I was 18. I mean, it's kind of like,
well, you can see there's differences.
Do you have a memory when you were 18, like how stupid you were? You know.
Listen, believe me, at 18 to like 22, I was, Christ, I was the person I am now. Would probably, the kid I was then would probably slap to me now.
It's a good thing the statute of limitations expired, Russ.
Yes. I like wine. I like fucking my vegetable garden. Take care of the yard. And at 19, I was concerned about was getting laid and doing a line of blow and having fun and whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
Rich, true story. Russ's biggest excitement this past week was that a Wegmans is coming to Long Island.
Oh, I love Wegmans. I actually really like Wegmans.
That's what I'm saying. I said I reached a point in my life.
Wegmans. I love Wegmans, dude.
That's why I posted on Facebook. I was like, I reached a point in my life where this shit excites me.
As you should.
Yeah. I said, listen, my buddy made fun of it, and I said, listen, I'm a different man now. I says we got a family of 4. We drive around and go, oh, that's a nice porch. That guy's lawn. That shit excites me.
No, I go to bars every now and then. I leave so disappointed. I'm like, dude, this says nothing. Or if I'm sitting there talking, because I'm recently single again, and I'm like, really trying to find Mrs. Right. I'm really trying to get married and like find a really good wife to have a child with. I really am. I'm turning down chicks because I'm like, no, look, dude, I'm not just gonna mess around with you. Mess around with you. I'm a guy. I've hit that level of maturity.
You want the one to be the next one.
Yeah, I want the one to be the next one. And I'm like, and so even when I'm like hitting on girls at bars, like my game is so old man that it's not even funny. Like they're like, oh, what's up? Can you buy me like a vodka soda? I'm like, yeah. Do you know? Have you heard about critical race theory? It's wild, right? And they're like, what? So like, I'm just like, dude, it's over. Or I'm like you. I have a giant green. I love my garden. I'd be like, yeah, I just planted a bunch of zucchini, and I'm like waiting for it to sprout. It's been really cool, you know. They're like, this fucking guy, like, and walk away, you know. So I don't have any game anymore. Like but I want to date someone younger than me that's like fertile, you know. Like it's hard, like my age at 38, because I'm gonna get like canceled after this now. But I'm all the women that are in their 40s. But like it's hard for me to. I would love to date someone exactly that's 39, but 39-year-old women have trouble like having kids, and I really do want to have like 3 or 4 kids, like, you know. So it's like I'm trying to date girls that are younger than me, but it's tough, man. They're not.
They're into different things.
They're not mature, really. You know, they're like if they're still going out partying at bars, they're just not the one that's for me.
It's amazing how there's a huge difference between, like I said, a 38-year-old and a 30-year-old. It's still a huge difference.
It's night and day. It's insane. Like you have the coach, like you have sex with a 30-year-old, you're like, did you take your birth control? Go take your birth control. I pulled out, but like, take your fucking birth control, man. Like, I'm not fucking kidding about this shit. This is gonna cost me a lot of fucking money. You know, versus a 38-year-old woman's like, she's already on birth control. She's fine. I ain't worried about it.
She's like, let's go.
You're whatever the fuck you want. She's fine. She's got her shit.
Then if you get a 45-year-old, you really got nothing to worry. They're in menopause and they're like, you got nothing going.
That's an all-day job. I'd be packing lunch for that.
Oh, there goes the wife.
Even she's laughing at that one.
So yeah. So you know, I'm in the life. I'm in some major life.
To settle down. You know, you're tired of living fast and loose. You want that. You want that sit around the campfire and have beers with family and friends rather than be stuck in bars and everything.
100% there. My job still allows it. I mean, I'm at a job. I still play in bars. I still go play festivals and like I'm around partying. But like it's almost rude now. Like I'm almost rude to people because I'll get there before I go on. I'll play, shake some hands, and I bounce back to the hotel because I'm like, dude, I don't want to be around this. Like this is not enjoyable for me.
I hear you.
There's nothing but trouble. I don't want to see someone fight. I don't want to see a 24-year-old guy getting knocked out. Like I don't want to see some dumb chick, you know, have too many vodka shots and fall over the bench. Like I just don't want to see it. It's like a bad Unsolved Mysteries episode. Like I've already seen this episode 1,000 times. Don't want to see it. Want to go home.
That's like my going out now is working at the bar, you know, working a show.
Yeah.
I can't even tell last time I was in a bar, like, you know, in a social setting.
I feel
COVID ruined everything, by the way.
I feel like my father now. As I get older, the less and less I want a giant, crowded, packed bar.
Thing is, I don't mind being in bars. I actually like a good Irish bar, but I only like when it's like me and my 4 buddies, and that's it. Like I'm eating peanuts and we're talking, watching baseball or something. The moment like more than 12 people get into a bar, I'm like, all right, I gotta go.
Yep, that's it. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Once you're too deep at the bar to get a drink, it's like, all right, I gotta reach over this person.
You're like, what am I doing here?
Excuse me, coming through.
Yeah, nothing good's gonna happen. I mean, nothing good is gonna happen. Not at all. You're going to see some awesome things happen, but I don't want to be around it anymore.
Sounds like a good album that's going to be coming down the pipe soon.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be like a very mature record.
All right. Hey, Rich, I want to thank you. We did an hour and 3 minutes with you. This was great. Sorry for the delay and everything, you know, all the confusion and audio visual issues we had, but
no, my part too. I'm sure there was.
Yeah,
I put my phone a couple times. But
yeah, no, we're all good. We'll edit out all the mishaps. But
that's awesome.
Anything you want to plug real quick before we wrap this up?
Man, just follow us on Instagram at Rich O'Toole, Twitter at Rich O'Toole. The Twitter's a really fun time. I tweet out what I eat for lunch every day. I tell a couple.
I love your Twitter. Love your Twitter.
Facebook.
I trained for you yesterday. We're talking Tuesday.
Facebook's kind of run by my manager runs it, so like I post on there every now and then. Instagram, if you want to see what I eat for lunch, and it's follow tour dates. RichO'Toole.com.
Yeah, Twitter's pretty much me and him interact with you.
Yeah, Twitter is the way to go. If you want to talk to Rich, Twitter is the way to go. Rich is definitely involved on that.
Yeah, 100% right back. Instagram is just like I'm not a hot chick with a big ass. What am I even doing on there? But I totally get it. It's other than that, like richtotool.com for tour dates, and come out to a show. It's a great show. And if you're on Spotify, follow us on Spotify or Apple Music. Type in Rich O'Toole. It's look. There's only one Rich O'Toole. I have a goofy ass name, so like get on there, type it in, listen to the music. We've written 7 albums. I think they're good, so check them out.
Oh no, they're great. I'm listening to them. They're great.
The cricket song I liked. It was a nice one. Adios Mio. I like that one. That was good.
That was fun. Yeah.
Trying to think what else. Summertime Girls. Like I said, I think American Steel was probably my favorite.
I like that one a lot too.
The
American Kid record was really great. I don't think I really, to be honest, I don't think I really started getting like decent at writing until the American Kid record. People say that, you know, they like all the records I've written, but as an artist, I just know when I started getting kind of in my groove. And, you know, the American Kid, New York, I started kind of really finding my groove and sound. So,
yeah. All right. Hey, Rich, next time you're in New York, definitely look us up. We'll definitely
dude, I'm gonna take y'all out, man. We should go to like Peter Luger's or something like.
Something. Sure.
Yeah.
And listen, if we can make it to.
Oh, we lost Jerry right at the last second.
Yeah, what happened? Is he there?
I don't know. You like tequila, Rich?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I went sober for 6 months, and I went sober again because it was just kind of like affecting traveling and stuff. I was just, you know, but now I'm not. I have wine and beer, you know.
I hear you.
All right.
Hey, dudes. Hey, it was an honor. Thank you for having me on, and let me know when you push the episode. I'll always retweet it, and I'll put it on my Instagram too. So
it'll be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts tomorrow or the day after, just depending on when they get it uploaded. But as soon as they both drop, we'll put it out there, and then if you could retweet it, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course, man. Shoot me the link on Twitter, and I'll say something about it too. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, Rich, have a good night. Thanks a lot.
I had a blast, man.
All right, take care. Russ, I gotta say that was awesome.
I gotta say, I think I've had this bottle too long.
The good effing wine.
Yeah, because it's delicious, but the end of the bottle's got a tiny bit of that vinegar taste. It was like the ass end of the bottle that I left there probably for the last month. I'm thinking the cork let a little air in. Fuck it, we're drinking it right.
That might be it's opened and too much air gets in, right? Hey, buddy, what's up?
Say hello.
Why?
Hey.
All right. All
right, Russ, real quick. I just want to get into. Let's get into the Rangers real quick. I mean, yesterday's debacle was not what I expected against Carolina when you have the division up for grabs.
Fuck it. Listen, we had a great season. Let the boys get healthy.
Yeah, 2 injury scares as well in the game. A loss to Carolina. Right now they're playing Montreal. 0-0. 6 minutes left in the third. I'm sorry.
Last game's on Friday.
Yeah. Listen, Washington or Pittsburgh? Do you care?
I think I want Pittsburgh.
Okay, because they're a little banged up.
I mean, listen, if you're talking preference, yeah. I mean, listen, is Ovi still going to be out for Washington? I don't know. You got Jari out for Pittsburgh. We played well against them this year. You know, I wouldn't mind kicking Steve Burns' team's ass. So,
Capitals play the Islanders Thursday, Rangers Friday to wrap up their
we wrap up the season. And I think playoffs start Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh, which Washington has a game in hand, so Washington can overtake Pittsburgh if we really they really win out.
Either one, I'm fine with. You know, just it's after if we make it after that, that's the that's the fucking gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we'll see what happens. Listen, all 8 teams had 100 points or more. I mean, when does that ever happen before?
Yeah.
You know, either way, 4 good teams are getting eliminated in round 1.
Yeah,
but the Rangers have the goalie that could definitely steal the show in a round or 2.
They could, unfortunately. Teams like Florida have the power to put up seven goals easily. I mean, they they now own the record for season. Yeah, I'm fucking fumbling here. They now own the record for most goals in a season for a team.
I was going to say, I heard a stat that they have the most goals in a season, but they've also let up the third most in the league as well. So, I mean, if you're playing with them, you're playing a run and gun game.
Yes, which I don't know many teams right now. It doesn't look like many teams can keep up with that. I definitely saw them score 6, 7, 8 goals quite a few times.
Yeah.
And even with the Maple Leafs, I think it all comes down to Jack Campbell with them. They can put up goals like you wouldn't believe, with that combo, especially the way Austin Matthews playing. Yeah. But it all depends on how Jack Campbell's going to fare.
Toronto and Tampa as a first round matchup is
yeah, but even Tampa's well seasoned in the playoffs, and they're playing very well. They're just as fucking scary as they've ever been. So yeah, and you can't with Carolina. They're the same thing. It's fucking to me with Florida. They're a pretty damn complete fucking team, and their only issue now is that they're relying on a rookie goaltender.
Yeah, all roads are leading through those two teams, I believe. Who knows? Maybe the Rangers get lucky and they get through the division and get to a conference finals. Listen, before the season started, no one said the Rangers were winning the cup, not even you or I. So I mean,
now we got a chance.
They got a chance. They get to a conference final or a cup final. I'll be happy with it. It's an unexpected, achievement. And then, Russ, real quick about your Mets. I know they got the best record in baseball right now, but I swear every game I feel like there's at least one or two players getting hit in the head. What's going on? I mean,
I don't know. They threw high and tight into Arenado this afternoon. Yep. They fucking they were pissed. They had to keep the hit the other night. Or I don't know. It's crazy 14
and 6 leading the division. I know they got a good team.
Scherzer was yelling the other day, and I still look at him funny with his two different colored eyes.
It's so weird.
And got some basketball playoffs going on. The touted Brooklyn Nets took a shirt.
Listen, I got to tell you, I'm happy that they got bounced the way they got bounced.
Okay, fuck the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not even a real Knicks fan. I'm your typical. Was a Chicago Bulls fan as a kid for obvious reasons.
Obviously, sure.
And then rooted for the fucking Knicks. Rooted is like fucking very, very loose right now. But I kind of laugh at Ben Simmons didn't play. He has a mental block that could risk him his back end. Like you basically they traded for you to just pussy out.
If that guy doesn't play for them or has another issue next season, that is going to be one of the worst trades in NBA history.
But I've never heard of that before. You have a mental block that could, if you play, your mental block could re-aggravate your back injury.
How?
Like playing could re-aggravate, sure, but like you have a mental block that could trigger it. That's what he's like. What? Listen, I understand if you were like a fucking ski jumper and you were going to take a giant jump like 200 feet in the fucking air and come down. I can understand being a little weary. Yep. But you're playing basketball, like even anything, even in hockey or baseball.
Yep.
You got to play. You know, it's not like you're going to take a monster fucking fall or do backflips. And you're playing a game, that. Yeah. That was a giant pussy move for me, but right now, you get the Bucks up big on the Bulls. They're probably going to end that series.
Yep.
The Atlanta Hawks shit to bet Trae Young disappeared. You got the Warriors right against the Nuggets. They're taking the MVP, last year's MVP, and Nikolai Jokic, and making him look like a joke.
Yep.
Memphis. Got the other
tomorrow,
series.
You got 76ers probably wrapping it up with the Raptors. Suns leading the Pelicans 3-2. Jeff Platt's Mavericks are beating the Jazz 3-2 right now as well. Those are your 3 games tomorrow.
You get the Suns up.
NBA's got some spice. It's got some interest.
Spicy meatball.
And let me ask you, real quick, your Colts don't have a first-round pick in the draft this year. Will you be watching the draft?
I don't watch the fucking draft regardless.
Well, I mean, hey,
you want to know why? You want to know why I don't fucking? I watch like the first fucking 5 picks. That's about it.
I was gonna say the Jets and Giants, both in New York, obviously. The Jets and Giants have two picks each in the top 10 this year.
I don't I don't watch other than like the first bunch of picks, only because it takes so fucking long. It's like 20. I follow everything that goes on. I still get the pick alerts on my phone, but I could give
Yeah.
I could give two shits. Just listen. I'm assuming my Colts are going to go wide receiver heavy. Still don't understand how they have not signed either T.Y. Hilton or Julio to cheap deals, considering there's such a young wide receiver core as it is right now. You'd want some leadership there. I mean, Reggie Wayne is the new wide receivers coach, but I would think that you need some sort of veteran presence either in T.Y. or Julio, because neither one of them are going to be expensive. So why not bring in a veteran to play, and mentor these kids? But I don't know. The only thing that's really killing me, that and the offensive tackle thing. Other than that, I'm very, very happy with what they did on defense. In fact, I don't think I could really be happier. Adding, fucking defensive player of the year, Stephon Gilmore, at cornerback. Adding fucking Rodney McLeod at fucking safety, who seems like a huge locker room veteran presence. And then adding Yannick Ngakoue at fucking defensive on the D line, along with Forrest Buckner, is huge. The guy had a shitload of sacks for the Raiders last year. So we've improved every level of fucking every level in the defensive area. So I'm happy about that. But I don't know who the fucking, other than Michael Pittman, and I don't know who we're throwing the ball to.
All right, and finally, just I want to say, I think Elon buying Twitter, amazing.
Well,
I think it's amazing.
I'm going to say one thing. If you are that fucked up in the head and upset over Eli buying Twitter, then you're a buffoon. You're a fucking buffoon. Jesus Christ. I love Twitter. It's great. But
I love it.
But at the same time, if it really fucks up your life that much, then you're way too invested. Ow! I just stubbed my toe. You're way too invested in Twitter then.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. All right. So you're afraid that some people might say things that you don't fucking like. All right. Yeah, granted, there's some fucking shitty right-wing people you probably don't want back on there. But still, you still don't know how it's all going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're one of those people, you probably block them anyway. So what's the difference?
Seriously. But I think it's great. Saying that you're going to, reinvent the wheel, so to speak, with the way Twitter has been run and the way you want to run it, opens up so many doors and so many eyeballs to what you're going to do once the deal is closed. I can't wait to see it. What do you got there?
Clubbing in your 20s.
Clubbing in your 40s is going to Costco.
The wife just said that to me. On a side note, he mentioned TikTok, by the way.
Yeah.
So all these TikTok dances, all this shit.
Yeah.
My boss finally was like, "Yeah, try it out." I fucking love TikTok more than any other fucking app. It's think like Instagram Reels, but it's basically tailored to whatever you like. So dude, I got life hacks, construction hacks, people cooking. It's not like dancing. It's honestly, if like you wanted podcast fucking funny moments, like there's pages for everybody. I gotta tell you, it's fucking great. I laugh my ass off. I fucking find new ways to do shit around the house.
So you're into TikTok, huh?
That's what I actually do them, but I'm surprised it's not just fucking dances, and it's actually pretty awesome. Like I said, is you want to look up all kinds of stuff on pickup trucks or whatever. It all goes into your feed of what you like and filters that way. It's actually pretty awesome.
All right.
As the fucking.
Well, I gotta say, I have secured the E.A.T podcast TikTok page.
I didn't say I actually hate TikToks. I just like looking at them.
We can create TikToks if you'd like. We don't have any yet, but we could. I mean,
listen, I don't have the editing that some of these people fucking do.
Listen, the editing is insane. I mean, you need a college degree in what some of these people do.
I follow this one guy, and he's fucking. There's two of them, but this one guy, he's fucking great. People send him recipes to drink.
Okay.
Some are good, some are not so good. But he takes them, and like I laugh every time he mixes the drink with something in it, with something different. He'll take like a fucking tube of sunscreen and be like, mixy, and then just tosses it. And he does like it's a different object that mixes the drink every time. But like some are fucking great, some are terrible, but it's like all kinds of.
I gotta say, I was in a bar a couple days ago, last weekend, for a birthday party, and I gotta tell you two things I gotta tell you about. One, Jameson now has an orange flavored drink or liquor.
Yes, that was one of them. It was Jameson Orange
Yep.
and, believe it or not, chocolate milk.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
Yeah,
the guy was like, "This is fucking disgusting. Like, you really want me to drink this?" And then he drank it, and he was like, "Holy fucking shit, this is really good."
So Jameson Orange, I got to tell you.
Yes.
And then the next thing was a green tea shot, which was Jameson
I've
with
had
like
one.
with I don't know, some sour mix and 2 other things mixed in. It was phenomenal.
I want to see if
It was.
I gotta find the Jameson, but yes, the Jameson Orange. One guy made a shot that was called like a Snickers shot, and it was like Kahlua, Bailey's, caramel vodka, and something else. Like anything. So I'm looking at fucking women in fucking titty popping outfits. Fucking, I'm looking at fucking people mixing drinks. There's all kinds of shit on there.
So listen, this green tea shot is peach schnapps, Jameson, sour mix, and Sprite. Thing was amazing. I'll tell you, after 4 or 5 of them, you're probably done, and it's enough. But they were awesome.
I had one the other day that I got off TikTok. Like, I never heard of. I guess it was a Paloma.
The hell is that?
It was tequila with Fresca, so grapefruit soda.
Really?
And orange juice, and it was phenomenal because the grapefruit cut down on the sweetness to the orange, and they kind of balanced each other out.
Interesting.
It was actually really fucking good. So it was like 2 shots of tequila, 8-ounce fucking Fresca, and a fucking like 2 ounces of OJ with a spritz of lime. It was the shit.
I gotta tell you, I'm not into Fresca that much. My wife loves Fresca. She's the biggest fan of Fresca.
Well, then tell her to put a shot of tequila in it with a little bit of orange juice and a lime, and she'll be fucking happy as fuck.
Yeah, you know what? I think now that she could drink again, I think that might be the go-to.
Tell her to try it. It's phenomenal. Like I said, is the grapefruit, the sourness cuts down the sweetness to the OJ, so it's not like super sweet. It's fucking good. However, that reminds me, I brought this up the other day to my boss, and I said that's why I drank on Easter. I got pretty fucked up, and then it just reminded me I got to do this. So there's a drink called the long drink.
What the hell is that?
All right, it comes in like a blue can. You can only get in the liquor store. Let's say it's 6%. It's nothing crazy. Okay. They make a strong drink too. It's called long drink, strong drink.
I'm googling now.
The long drink. It's Finnish. It's like a gin soda, but it tastes like a Fresca. And I mean, it tastes like a Fresca. And it's like 6. It's perfect for a summer. You throw some ice in it, you just slug it down.
The Finnish long drink. It's a blue can.
Yes, it's delicious.
There's also a black can. It looks like a red can.
Yes, one's like a low carb, and the black can is like 8%. I think.
And then there's the white can. Yeah, there's a zero sugar, 0 carbs, 5% alcohol. Yeah.
So
all right, I got it.
If she loves Fresca, the blue can is the regular one.
Okay. Yep.
Phenomenal. He put it on ice, and it tastes like a fucking Fresca.
Really?
And you really can't taste the alcohol. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, shit. What if I did fucking a shot of tequila with a can of the fucking long drink?
Oh shit!
With the OJ, rather than Fresca, I'd have this. It tastes like a grapefruit Fresca. And my boss is like, Jesus Christ, you have like fucking 2 or 3 of those and be fucking gone.
Yeah, they got the long drink, which is the black can, Russ. It's 8.5%. I mean, that's gonna knock you on your ass.
I never tried that, but like I said, the regular blue can, that's like 6%. Absolutely in the summertime, little ice, delicious.
And the red can is the long drink cranberry, 5.5. I'd be interested in that for the summer.
Well, try the regular one, but have her try that. Like I said, is Fresca, shot of tequila with the orange juice and lime. It's fucking delicious.
Oh, you know what? I'm on their website right now, Russ. It says discover why actor Miles Teller, DJ Kygo, golfer Richie Fowler, and others are bringing this Finnish legend across the USA.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler.
So they got some big names behind it.
But
they got some big names behind it.
I discovered it during a stressful time at work, after work, fucking in the middle of the summer.
It happens. I'm sure I'll partake in it a couple of times this summer.
But definitely, I get it to the liquor store sells it.
I'll definitely look into it. Total Wine is like Disneyland for booze. Next time I'm at Total Wine, I'll scope it out and see about getting it. Next
All
time you
right.
come up here, I'll have it here. All right, buddy. Hour and a half today, episode 41 in the books. Big thank you to Rich O'Toole for coming on. When this drops on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I'll retweet it out. I got to say, man, that guy was awesome. He's 100% real. Music he puts out, definitely a story behind every song. And if he ever comes to New York or we can make it down to Texas, definitely going to be a fun time with him.
I definitely had a good time. I wouldn't mind crushing a few beers.
Yeah, seriously. All right, buddy, going to wrap up episode number 41. Until next time, have a good night, everybody.